The boycott of Snow White has begun, and I believe you have long heard that viewers around the world have decided to ignore this movie. Rumors have been circulating online that people will not give a single cent to Disney for what they did with the remake of the legendary animated film, altering its essence and approach to the beloved classic. Numerous fans of the original have expressed their dissatisfaction, arguing that the attempt to reinterpret this fairy tale should not have resulted in the complete loss of the heartfelt spirit and authenticity inherent in the source material. As a result, a full-scale boycott campaign for Snow White has erupted on social media. People from every corner of the globe have surprisingly united in their intention not to watch this film, demonstrating solidarity and demanding respect for the legacy of classic animation. As is often the case, one might have thought that all the threats and statements would remain empty words, voiced merely in comments on forums, blogs, YouTube, and other platforms. We have seen examples where online voices eventually fell short of real actions, with people ultimately going to theaters and handing over their money at the box office. But this time, the situation has turned out to be far more serious. The matter has escalated to the point that the Disney giant, instead of ignoring the protests, decided to act with utmost caution, demonstrating its concern over the potential decline in box office revenue and the possibility of a massive boycott. For instance, Disney has launched a pre-sale of tickets for the film Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler in the leading role. Let me remind you that this remake is set to hit theaters worldwide on March 24th, which is very soon, and movie fans have been eagerly anticipating it. However, the marketing strategy turned out to be quite uncharacteristic. Instead of the standard nationwide release, the ticket sales began several weeks before the official premiere. This practice is not new for major blockbusters, but in the case of Snow White, many were surprised by how much Disney was delaying the ticket sales. The reason, as it turned out, was that the company was understandably worried and, oddly enough, had received a global threat of boycott from viewers. To illustrate the seriousness of the situation, one can point to an incident that took place at the AMC Disney Springs Theater in Orlando, Florida. This cinema has always been the privileged venue for major Disney releases, where several halls, including VIP sections, are allocated for premieres, creating an atmosphere of true celebration. However, an analysis of the preview of Snow White and the screening times on the first evening of the premiere reveals that the company did not expect a large turnout. On the contrary, the marketing strategy indicated that the boycott of the film had already begun. What exactly are we witnessing in practice? In the so-called Royal Theater of Disney in Orlando, for the premiere of the remake Snow White, only one small hall was allocated. This decision, according to many experts and critics, demonstrates an unusual marketing approach. If we compare it with previous projects, such as the film Captain America: New World Order, which, despite mixed reviews and skeptical expectations, was screened in 5 halls for its premiere, with tickets sold out in just a few hours, even if we are talking about not the most successful blockbuster from Disney and Marvel, whose budget is roughly comparable to that of Snow White. The difference in approaches to launching the film becomes evident. This comparison suggests that Disney's strategy regarding Snow White might turn out to be a landmark experiment in gauging the real reaction of the audience to the remake. Let us take a closer look at what is happening around the remake starring Rachel Zegler in the leading role. Essentially, even on the premiere night, the film will be shown in just one small hall, which already raises questions. How can this be when there are only a few days left until the premiere and the audience's interest in Disney movies is typically enormous? In the first day after the ticket sales began for this one and only hall, just 15 seats were sold. Of course, someone might argue that with about a week and a half remaining until the official release, the hall might fill up in time. But the main issue here is not whether one hall fills up or not. The crux of the matter is the trend itself. Viewers are clearly making it known that they fully intend to carry out their threat to boycott the film. In addition to this disheartening situation for Disney, it should be noted that Rachel Zegler herself, chosen for the leading role, has also been completely detached from engaging with the audience and the press. 10 days before the release of Snow White, she still has not participated in the traditional press events, nor interacted with any media outlets in the United States. This creates the impression that Disney is making every effort to hide its leading star, perhaps fearing negative reactions or unwelcome questions from journalists and fans. In today's world, where personal interaction with stars and active participation on social media are of great importance, such behavior only deepens viewers' suspicions and adds fuel to the fire of the boycott. When we consider the overall picture, it becomes evident that viewers, perhaps for the first time in many years, have decided to fully follow through on their threats by initiating a complete boycott of the film's Snow White. Online communities, forums, and social media groups are uniting to express their dissatisfaction and warn others against supporting this film. It is worth noting that such reactions have their roots in recent changes in the entertainment industry, where many fans of nostalgic films and animations have become increasingly critical of reboots and remakes. They believe that companies should pay more attention to preserving the original spirit and artistic value of the works rather than striving for commercial gain at the expense of radical changes. It is also important to mention that such boycotts tend to intensify over time. Today, the audience's reaction is increasingly moving from words to concrete actions. If we recall past examples, even the loudest threats made online, in the form of comments or blog posts, eventually led to real changes in distribution and marketing strategies. In the case of Snow White, the situation takes on an even more dramatic turn. The indicators already suggest that the threat of a boycott is not just empty rhetoric, but a real movement that is beginning to affect both Disney's plans and its overall promotional strategy. For example, in recent weeks, some movie enthusiasts have observed that messages about reduced seat bookings for Disney-related premieres have started appearing in theaters across the country. Data such as presale figures and analysis of user activity on platforms like Twitter and Instagram confirm that the boycott is not just idle talk, but a real movement. Many fans of classic animations openly state that they prefer to refrain from watching remakes, deeming them devoid of the magic that once made the original films true masterpieces. Such sentiments, of course, raise concerns not only among marketers, but also within the company itself, for which audience trust and popularity have always been paramount. It is interesting to note that this kind of audience reaction is not unique to Snow White. In recent years, boycotts and protest campaigns against remakes of classic films have become increasingly common, especially when it comes to projects where the original material is significantly altered. Examples can be found in forum discussions and on platforms dedicated to film commentary. When looking at the situation as a cultural phenomenon, it becomes clear that viewers are striving to protect a cultural heritage that has been passed down through generations. And now, when multi-million-dollar budgets and the reputations of giants like Disney are at stake, the boycott takes on even greater significance. For residents of the United States, where the film industry is not just a form of entertainment, but a true part of cultural life, this phenomenon becomes especially relevant. Social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok today serve not only as means of communication, but also as platforms for social movements. Therefore, it is not surprising that millions of users are actively sharing their opinions, criticizing, and even organizing online actions in support of the boycott. It is important to note that such campaigns often start with simple posts, but then grow into a genuine media frenzy capable of affecting box office revenues and brand reputation. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to our updates yet, please make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on the latest news and analytical reviews on the film industry. We always welcome your comments, so share your thoughts. What do you think about the situation with the Snow White boycott? Support us with a like if you enjoy this style of discussion, and tell your friends how the power of the audience can influence decisions even at giants like Disney. Returning to the essence of what is happening, it can be added that in recent days the situation surrounding Snow White has begun to attract attention not only from fans of classic animations, but also from independent analysts and film industry experts. Some of them have already published reviews in which they analyze Disney's marketing strategies in detail, comparing them with previous successful, or conversely, unsuccessful releases. Such analysis helps to understand that the boycott may not only be a reaction from fans, but also a signal to the company that it needs to reconsider its tactics in today's media environment. In addition, discussions have emerged online about how the boycott might affect Disney's future projects. Many speculate that if the audience truly is determined, this could serve as an early warning to the company that changes in creative policy and market. It is also worth noting that modern technologies and social media have opened up new opportunities for gathering audience feedback. Now, every user who watches a trailer or a promo clip can instantly express their opinion, and that opinion becomes available to millions. As a result, even a small group of dissatisfied viewers can exert significant influence on the person. Looking at the situation from a marketing perspective, it should be noted that Disney has always been known for its grand premieres and flawless screenings. However, in this case, the choice of a pre-sale strategy limited to a single small hall indicates that the company's management decided to take a risk, hoping that at least a portion of the audience would not let the boycott get in the way. Yet, if we look at the statistics, it is already possible to assume that the audience's reaction might be far more negative than expected. The example of the Orlando Theater is just one among many, and if the trend continues, new data confirming the severity of the boycott might emerge in the coming days. Moreover, some experts are already voicing the opinion that such actions could set a precedent for future projects not only by Disney but also by other major studios. After all, if the audience in the United States and around the world starts actively refusing to go to theaters for remakes, it might push filmmakers to search for new formats that better meet audience expectations. And for us, the lovers of quality cinema, this would be an additional stimulus to voice our opinions and demand greater sincerity and respect for cultural heritage from the creators. It is worth mentioning that modern research shows that social movements in the field of culture and entertainment are becoming increasingly influential. Even small groups of activists can gather enormous support if their ideas resonate with millions. In this context, the boycott of Snow White is not just a temporary phenomenon, but an important signal to the entire film industry. And if you, dear viewers, feel that now is the time to speak up, don't hesitate to share your opinion in the comments. Your voice might be the catalyst for a major discussion that could influence not only this film's future, but the entire entertainment industry. If you enjoy this format of discussion and our analytical approach to film industry news, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest posts. Give this video a like if you believe that audience activity is a force capable of changing even the most massive projects. We live in an era when every opinion counts, and the collective strength of the audience can stand up to even giants like Disney. In conclusion, the boycott of Snow White is not merely a protest action, but a real movement reflecting deep dissatisfaction among a segment of the audience with contemporary trends in the film industry. We, as viewers, must remember that our opinion matters, and if we feel that our cherished legacy is being subjected to unwarranted changes, we should not remain silent. Express your views, share them in the comments, subscribe to channels that speak openly about their perspectives on modern cinema, and of course, hit the like button if you enjoy our discussion format. Friends, if you have your own thoughts about the remake of Snow White and would like to share your experience or impressions, please write in the comments. Your opinion might spark a major discussion that could influence the future not only of this film, but of the entire industry. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you won't miss any new videos, reviews, or analytical articles. Every like and comment from you is a motivation for us to work even harder and delight you with fresh news. Thus, the situation with Disney's remake of Snow White has become a striking example of how collective audience opinion can influence even the largest corporations. Today, in the era of social media and instant feedback, even giants like Disney are forced to take into account the increasingly louder voice of the audience. And the boycott launched by fans of classic animations may turn out to be the catalyst for serious changes in the approach to creating and promoting remakes. We will continue to follow the developments and make sure to keep you informed of all the news related to this topic. And in the meantime, if you share our views or want to learn more about the reasons behind the boycott, stay tuned. There's a lot of interesting and important information ahead. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends so that as many people as possible can hear about this genuine audience movement that might change the rules of the game in the film industry. Thank you for staying with us, dear viewers. See you in our next reviews, where we will be discussing the most relevant news and events in the world of cinema. Remember, every comment, every opinion, and every action on your part can have a huge impact on the future of the entertainment industry. Stay active, remain curious, and always express your point of view. Together, we can achieve a lot. Bye-bye, and see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave your comments. Your support means the world to us.